The Cleveland Browns find themselves once again at the center of quarterback chaos, a situation that has defined the franchise for decades. It began with bold words from head coach Kevin Stefanski, who just a few short weeks ago stood in front of the cameras and declared with confidence that Joe Flacco would lead the offense. He justified the decision with experience and leadership, two qualities that were supposed to steady a fragile team. But beneath the surface, his announcement revealed something else, an unwillingness to trust Shador Sanders, the rookie quarterback who had become a figure of hope for the Browns' future. That reluctance, many warned, would come back to haunt them. And now, only 2 games into the season, it already has. The disaster unfolded quickly. On opening day, the Browns fought their way into contention, only to see Flacco throw away their chances with 2 crushing interceptions at pivotal moments. Fans who had spent years watching their team falter under pressure sat in disbelief, as history repeated itself once again. The defense fought. The offense had its moments. But when it mattered most, Flacco's mistakes turned a winnable game into a loss. It was the kind of defeat that lingers, the kind that bruises morale and raises questions about leadership. Stefanski doubled down, giving Flacco another chance in Week 2, but this time the unraveling was even worse. The Ravens tore apart the Browns' offense, and Flacco looked like a man entirely out of his depth. His throws were off target, his pocket presence vanished under pressure, and every possession seemed to end in disappointment. Sacks piled up, missed opportunities grew heavier, and turnovers sealed the Browns' fate. At one point, Flacco gifted the defense an interception, so blatant that it felt like the game was over the moment the ball left his hands. With a completion rate hovering around 50%, he wasn't just struggling, he was a liability. After the game, Stefanski's frustration spilled through in his press conference. He tried to dissect the loss by pointing to overlooked details, tipped balls, and breakdowns in execution. But his words couldn't mask the truth. His decision to place his faith in a 41-year-old quarterback instead of preparing his young talent had left the Browns stuck in quicksand. The losses weren't just numbers on a scoreboard. They were statements about a team's inability to adapt, about leadership too stubborn to recognize the obvious. Inside the locker room and beyond, pressure mounted. Reports suggested that Stefanski and general manager Andrew Berry were already feeling the heat from the organization's hierarchy. Insiders warned that their jobs could be on the line if they didn't turn things around quickly. Fans were even harsher, questioning why Sanders wasn't given the chance to prove himself when it was clear Flacco was dragging the team down. Cleveland has always carried the scars of quarterback mishandling, and this felt like history on repeat. Even Joe Flacco seemed to sense the end. Speaking to the media, he admitted his role had changed and hinted at uncertainty about his future. He vowed to give his best if given another chance, but acknowledged that the decision was no longer his to make. It was the voice of a man who knew the writing was on the wall. His experience, once seen as an asset, had become irrelevant in the face of mounting turnovers and growing frustration. In the background stood Shador Sanders, calm and composed. Unlike the frenzy around him, Sanders didn't let the noise shake his focus. He spoke softly, acknowledging that outside comments couldn't define him. He carried himself like a man who understood the weight of expectation but refused to let it break him. Whether on the field or the sidelines, he radiated the patience of someone who believed his time would come. One way or another, for Stefanski, the shift was inevitable. His earlier words had cast doubt on Sanders, questioning his readiness to handle the responsibility of leading an NFL team. But reality has a way of forcing decisions. The veteran solution had collapsed. The season's survival now rested on the shoulders of the rookie he had been so reluctant to trust. It wasn't a choice made out of faith, it was a choice made out of necessity. And that is what makes this moment so pivotal. Sanders' debut isn't just about proving himself on the field. It's about rewriting the Browns' narrative. It's about breaking the cycle of failed quarterback experiments that have haunted this franchise for years. Every snap he takes will be scrutinized. Every decision will either confirm or silence the critics. And Stefanski, whose job now hangs in the balance, will live with the consequences of how long he waited to hand Sanders the reins. The stakes couldn't be higher. If Sanders rises to the occasion, the Browns may finally have the foundation for a brighter future. If he falters, the noise around Stefanski will become deafening, and Cleveland could find itself staring at yet another rebuild. For a city that has waited decades for consistent quarterback play, the hope tied to Sanders is enormous. But with hope comes pressure, and now both player and coach must prove they can withstand it. What do you think of this unfolding quarterback drama? Should Stefanski have trusted Shador Sanders from the start, or was he right to lean on Flacco's experience, even if it backfired? Is it too late for Sanders to save the Browns' season, or is this the beginning of a new era in Cleveland? Share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss our deep dives into the biggest stories shaping sports today.